Welcome in, everyone, to another episode of the Movie Geek Podcast. I'm your host, George T., and little known fact that this is actually show number 75. Wow, crazy. A little bit more time on my hands than in season one, but I've already got 75. This is kind of a crazy thing. And wow, almost 100. 25 more. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. So, that being said, this is a weekend box office review. I have a few episodes this week, probably more than most weeks. We have a true movie one coming out, two true stories that came out earlier this year, Last Breath and uh, Luckiest Man in America. So look for that one. Also, Netflix did their second half of the year show called To Doom. It was a really good show. It had a lot of good trailers. I'm going to try to put them all up on that. I'm going to talk about some of the stuff I'm excited for. I know they listed a bunch of different things, but I want to talk about the few things that I really got out of that and am looking forward to for Netflix the rest of the way. And of course, this is the weekend box office report. So I got to admit, June 6th, this weekend coming up, is a huge weekend for movies. There are at least 3 movies um, that I want to see in the theaters. There's one on the streaming service on Hulu. Um, this is a big weekend. Last weekend wasn't so much. I mean, uh, Bring Her Back was on my top list. Didn't get to see it. My little guy AJ was sick, so didn't get to go see that. Life happens. It's what it is, you know. So Friday, this past Friday, I'm not a music person. I'm a sports radio listener. I know, crazy, right? Um, my music knowledge is mostly whatever I hear in the movies. Um, Also, whatever Ashley and George are listening to. They do have similar taste in certain music, so I hear their songs. I don't really follow a lot. That's just the way it is. But anyway, so this past Friday, WEEI is the radio station I listen to here in Massachusetts. The Greg Hill Morning Show is a morning show I start my day with, and they do their road shows every year. They went to Newport, Rhode Island this year, and I got to go there and meet them. And last year they went to Springfield. I was able to go and see that while I was on leave when AJ was born. So it was good to meet them then. And, again, they are extremely nice people. Greg Hill, Jermaine Wiggins, Chris Curtis, and of course Courtney Cox. Great hosts. Great way to start your day if you're, and they don't just talk sports. They do talk a lot about other things, news, and they do a funny bit at the end called Hill Notes, where people can call in and you know, make fun of people if they want to, which a lot of people wind up doing, or they wind up making fun of the hosts. So, but it was a good time. Conversely, this was the first time that they actually had the midday show on. Now, the midday show is hosted by Adam Jones and Rich Keefe. I have followed Rich Keefe for a while. He is a fellow nerd, or dork in this case, because he has the hashtag Dork podcast, where he talks about movies, TV, video games, pop culture in general. But he's also good on the radio. Um, when I started the podcast, reached out to him um, because of the podcast thing and his love for Comic Cons. I love Comic Cons. Look out for my Comic Con one eventually. And so um, I finally got to meet him. Now, I probably ran into him a bunch of times at Comic Cons, but the massive humanity that are at Comic Cons, especially on a Saturday, you wouldn't find him on, it's like finding a needle in a haystack sometimes. But I was able to meet Rich, and we had a little conversation, and hopefully he'll be able to come on this podcast. We both have kids, both have jobs. It's rather difficult. I mean, he does work on the radio. It's a great gig on the radio. I would love to do that. Love to talk sports or anything on the radio. As probably many of you know, I have the face for radio, and that's about it. Or maybe the voice of nothing. Who knows? But so I'm looking forward to that maybe down the road. We'll keep in touch and do that. I'm also trying to work on another guest or two. If you saw my short, I know that probably will never happen, but tried to put out in the universe for Bryce Dallas Howard. But I'm also trying to work on a couple other people. So we're going to hope that happens. Also, I've reached out to Jen and Charles and see if they want to come back because Transmission is coming out at the end of this month. I don't know how worldwide it is. It might be one of those subjugated to smaller venues or video on demand. I'm not sure yet, but we'll figure all that out when we get there. So it was great to meet both shows, and I actually had a guest lead on the morning show. I'm going to play that now.
Morning.
Morning. My name is George.
Hi, George.
Where are you from?
I'm from Attleboro, Massachusetts.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being here. And what do you got for a guest lead?
Well, Curtis stole a little bit of my thunder with his lead this morning, but right now, like the weather outside, the four teams right now are really cloudy futures. We have, the Patriots coming up. What are they going to look like? Are they going to be good? Or are they going to be, mediocre? Or they can't be any worse than last year. So, the Celtics. We all knew this was coming. So for them to not have gotten to the conference finals is a very big disappointment because next year we have no idea what this is going to look like. Yeah. However, I do have faith in Brad Stevens that he will get this done. And then when Tatum comes back and Jaylen Brown has an MVP type season because he is a dog, like you said.
Yep.
I'm telling you, these guys are going to win another championship in a couple of years.
All right.
That's what I like to hear.
All right.
Then we have the two dumpster fires that are the Bruins and the Red Sox at the moment. Yeah. The Bruins are an absolute joke right now. They have no idea what they're doing. They don't even have a coach right now. They've gotten rid of 3 head coaches, and they've all gone on to have success. So there is a major fundamental problem there. And then again, hopping on the Red Sox. The front office has screwed up this entire team. We should be having right now the discussion to bring up the Woo Sox players and get rid of Trevor Story and everybody else who is underperforming because this team has enough talent to win. And it's not Alex Cora's fault. Because if you heard him yesterday and Craig Breslow, they have a lot of baseball knowledge, but it just seems like they're being kind of captive to whatever the front office wants them to say. That's all I have to say.
Wow.
Kind of depressing.
Yeah,
actually.
my kind of guy.
About the current state of sports. All right.
So, what did you think? Just I had been working on that for like a week now, and I played it out a lot more than that. But I also wanted to make it, in a very short period of time because I didn't want to take up too much of their time because again, they're radio hosts and they have, you know, segments they have to get to and so on. So I kind of condensed a lot of the things I wanted to say on there, but I think it conveyed the message. If you are a sports fan like I am and you follow these teams, I want to hear from you what you thought of that. So, okay, we're going to get to the weekend box office. And I want to say the weekend box office was quite interesting. Lilo and Stitch hung on to the top spot. And, you know, I kind of figured it would. I didn't really think there was that strong competition to get, them out of that spot. But let's go in reverse order here. We're going to go with number 5, the new movie Bring Her Back. Made $7 million. Like I said, wanted to go see it. I probably will go see it. Hopefully this week. But there's so many movies I want to watch this week. I don't know. Number 3 was number 4 last week, which is Final Destination Bloodlines. Makes another 10.8 million. Um, I'm going to say I'm a little shocked, but this might be more Cobra Kai than the original Karate Kid that kind of carried this one to number 3, Karate Kid Legends, 21 million. I haven't seen that many good reviews for it, so I'm not sure. But again, I think this has more to do with the show Cobra Kai. So if you followed or watched Cobra Kai, you're probably one of the ones that bought tickets for this. Because I don't, from what I read from the reviews, I just don't see, the nostalgia part of the Karate Kid working out. But it is what it is. Number 2 is Mission Impossible again, 27.2, and Lilo and Stitch made another $63 million. That is some crazy stuff. But again, it just shows that kid movies again have done so well at the movies. Last year, remember, some of the big moneymakers, other than Deadpool and Wolverine, were kid movies or animated movies. Just happens to be, and it's great to see that the families are going back to the movies with their kids. So, all right. As I said at the open, before I get sidetracked, this is a huge weekend for me. There are so many movies I want to see. So I will get to all of those at the end. How about let's look at a few movies that are coming out in the smaller versions or limited releases. The Ritual. This stars Al Pacino, Dan Stevens, Abigail Cohen, and Ashley Greene. 2 priests must put aside their differences to perform a series of dangerous exorcisms on a possessed young woman. Okay. Trailer looks a little scary, or looks good. I don't want to say scary. I've seen probably better scares, but looks pretty decent. Again, limited release, so it won't challenge anything. A small movie called Davin's Cove. Limited release on this one. And then Big Deal is a Korean movie. That also comes out. Then there's I Don't Understand You. Nick Kroll, Andrew Ranoli, and Amanda Seinfeld. Dom played by Nick Carell and Cole played by Andrew set out on the perfect Italian getaway, but after getting lost on the way to the dinner, they end up stranded in a storm, offered shelter, and whoops, accidentally kill a beloved restaurant owner. Trust me, I don't understand any of this. So if I don't understand you, I don't understand. Um, then another one that's kind of in limited release. This is a French movie called The Gardener. Um, the only reason why I mention this is because Jean-Claude Van Damme plays the role as Jason Statham in this kind of movie because he's the gardener and he's going to straighten everything out. But it's a French film, so um, there's not much on there. All right. So let's look at a movie. Obviously, I played the trailer a couple times. We're looking at Predator, Killer of Killers. We have on Hulu. That's going to be amazing. I'm definitely looking at that on Friday when it comes out. George, I know, is looking forward to it as well. So at least we'll get to see one of these films. A film that snuck up on me, and I remembered seeing the trailer a while back. And I thought it was coming out later in the month, but it's coming out this weekend. Somewhat limited release. It wasn't big on the marquee on the first showing website, but a movie called Dangerous Animals. So this looks so creepy, and I'm not much for oceans, so this would scare the hell out of me. A shark-obsessed serial killer, played by Joe Courtney, holds Cypher, played by Hossie Harrington, a rebellious surfer captured on a boat race against captive. On a boat race against time, she must figure out a way to escape his cage, and before he carries out his tactical just dissection and of feeding her to the shark. Kind of messed up. But I saw the trailer. It's just an amazing trailer. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. I think this movie is going to do pretty well. Probably when it gets on video on demand or on the streaming services. So this is definitely a movie I want to see. Might get to see it. Who knows? I have to find out where it's playing. And then the two big ones for the weekend: Ballerina and Life of Chuck. I mentioned that in my top movies for June. I want to see these films. I will see these films. I just got to find time. A lot of time. I have an old track coach that's retiring on Sunday. There's track meet in his honor, so probably won't get to see anything on Sunday, but I'm going to try during the week to try to see some of these movies, and we'll see, even if I don't get to it until Monday, but I definitely need to see these movies. But Ballerina or Life of Chuck, two movies that need to be seen. Obviously, I talked about both of them on the last episode, where Ballerina is in the world of John Wick, and Life of Chuck is a Stephen King novel. That is worth seeing alone because Mike Flanagan and Stephen King are working together. Stephen King has mentioned it over and over again, and Mike Flanagan is doing some amazing work. He is doing great work. Check out his shows on Netflix. I mean, that alone should make you a a lover of Mike Flanagan. I remember meeting Heather. God, why am I drawing a blank here? The woman that played Nancy in the Freddy Krueger movies back in the day. Why am I drawing a blank? I don't know. But anyway, it's getting late. So I remember talking to her, and she was in the Midnight Club. I was talking to her about it, and I told her how much I loved the show. I loved his other work and stuff. And she's like, "Wow, you're a big fan of Mike." And I said, "Yeah, and everybody should be." And she's like, "Yeah, definitely. He's quite good." And obviously Stephen King is behind him now. He's got a lot of Stephen King adaptations coming out. So definitely looking forward to whatever Mike Flanagan's doing. And again, I mentioned this last week on the June podcast. And I also mentioned it last season. Obviously, that one didn't have any video, but it has audio. If you want to go back and check out Mike Flanagan's episode, I don't remember what episode it is, but it's up there. Go and check it out. Go and check it out. So there's your box office for this weekend. I mean, it's huge. 4 movies that I just definitely think are worth seeing. Predator Killers, that's on Hulu. Don't even have to leave your house. If you have Hulu, watch it. It's going to be good, especially if you're a Predator fan. Animated film, I mean, they're going to take a lot of liberties because, again, you can do that. It just looks good. I mean, I showed that trailer a couple times now. And then you got Dangerous Animals, which looks pretty decent. So there is that. Life of Chuck and Ballerina. I mean, how could you go wrong? How could you go wrong? And then even next weekend, you've got 2 movies in June that I am looking forward to. So June looks like a good month for movies. So I will definitely have a lot of content coming. And again, got 25 more to go episodes to get to 100. And I'm already working on. I'm working on the Comic-Con one. It's just taking so long because I don't know which directions to go in. And then obviously I'm going to start prepping for the 100th. I know, it's crazy, right? Jeez. That's why you need to subscribe if you have not yet. If you like my content, like the content. Hit that like button. Share it if you want to. I have that one short that I've been trying to get out there about Bryce Dallas Howard. So why don't you go out and like that one? Subscribe to my channel. Maybe we can get her on. And I'm going to shoot more shots too from other people that I've met at the Comic-Cons. That's why I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do all that. So, again, like I said, it's getting late here. I don't have a lot of time to do things during the day because of the family. So I got to be on here trying to squeeze them out. So I know I get a little wordy. I got stories about some of the editing that I've done and so on, but I'll save those for another time. So I want to thank everyone for listening, tuning in here, and like, comment, and subscribe. Let's interact. Let's talk. Any movies that you want to talk about, any movies that you've seen that you want an opinion on, down for it. Down for it. So, like I said, it's a busy weekend. I'll see you all at the movies.
You like that, baby? Let him know where that came from, yeah!
See you next time. Bye.
Waiting for you. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Hasta la vista, baby.
That's all, folks.